check everything out. Make sure everything's copacetic. Who's this? I see you, Grace. Okay, hang on. I need to get some lighting. I can't see it. All right. Okay. All righty. Get down here. Okay. All right. How's it going, everybody? Let me just make sure we're on Facebook. Boom. Boom. Okay, we got 17 people in the house. We do appreciate it. It's good to see everybody. Hang on, I'm having a little bit of a difficulty. I'm going to bring Grace up here in just a second. If these shows resonate with you, please share, because we're getting suppressed by Facebook. But you know what? I don't care. We're still going to make this thing happen. We've got some big news in the works, and I'm excited. Anyway, we got Grace Solaris here today, which is super cool. And maybe she'll do a disappearing act for us like she did before. Okay, let me just clear the table here. I'm going to put the Zoom link up in case anybody's having problems with Facebook. I apologize for the delay. And let's get on with the show. Grace Solaris. I'm going to play a 20-second intro and pull her up. I think we can get everything right. Okay, here we go. Play a 20-second intro, pull Grace up, and we're ready to roll. Thank you, dear sister, for having patience with your brother. Boom. All right. Let's pull up Grace. All right, let's rock out this Sunday afternoon, December the 8th. Grace Solaris is in the house. We'll bring her up now. Can you hear me, Grace? Can you hear me?
Yes.
There. What's happening?
I've been seeing you all the time. I've been seeing you.
In the ethers? Have you seen me in the ethers?
No, also, but here on the screen. So yeah. I've been seeing you and hearing you, but it's just like you hadn't.
Oh, you mean? Oh, I thought you meant.
I've been here all the time.
I knew you were here. I thought you couldn't hear me though. Okay.
Yes, well, I could. Yes.
Oh, you could. Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm sorry. I was a little bit rushed. You know, we're on the road, and we stopped at a friend's house, and I'm in a beautiful meditation room.
Yeah.
Got some powerful. Nice. Yeah, got some powerful stuff in here. Yeah, it's a very dear friend of ours. Big, really, really close, like you are to me.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. So what's happening? What's going on? What's going on in the front line of the apocalypse?
Wow.
What's going on? What's going on in the grand unveiling where everybody's going to be buck naked?
Yes, exactly. That's what's happening. That's what's happening.
Yeah.
Being stripped down, really. You know, even though we think we've already been stripped down, you know, it's just like there keeps being layers, keeps coming layers.
Yeah.
You know.
That's a serious thing.
Yeah.
It's just, am I looking older to you?
No.
I need to start coloring my hair. What the hell's going on here? I didn't mean to interrupt. But you're right. And you know what? It's a serious thing, but it's not serious. I don't know how to explain this, but I talked to a beloved sister this morning that you know and I know and that everybody knows. And that could mean a lot of people. So I'm not giving anybody up here, but the intensity of the last few days. Well, you know, December the 3rd, December the 6th, December the 9th. By the way, that's my birthday tomorrow.
Oh, wow.
I'll be 57. No, wait, will I be 57?
Oh,
No,
it's like me. I never know.
I'll
I
be
mean,
58.
it started when I was 30. I never know. I
Right.
can't figure it out.
But then we move into the 12/12, which is a full moon eclipse, right? I think it's a full moon, I know. And then we move into the 12/21 solstice.
Yeah.
So what's your intel? What's your latest intel? What's going on? Who you been connecting to, and what have they been telling you?
Uh, uh, you know, the thing is, I'm in 0 point, so it's not like earlier. It was just like, you know, there was someone coming in and you
Yeah.
channeled them and so on. It's just like, it was so funny because at a point I said to the Actuarians, I said, hey, where have you been so long? And I kind of, you know, I said, it's so strange because normally I feel you so tangibly, so strong, you know. And they said, we've been here all along.
Yeah.
It's simply because, you know, when you integrate those higher aspects, it becomes so intrinsically part of you that you can no longer differentiate.
Yeah.
Yes. So it was like earlier, oh wow, an ascended master came in, and you know, or a galactic or an angel or whatever. But you know, when you have really integrated all these different aspects, and not to say that there will be, maybe for some of us there will be still be beings that present themselves if that is what we need, but it's all about pulling in that source energy. That's really where we are now to and you know, it's all in one in all, you know, it's everything, you know. So we are also getting highly sensitive now, really you know, feeling each other. You know what I did before, like an hour before I went into a meditation, and I just connected. I felt this you know, the strong pull to just connecting with you. I don't know if you might have felt it or not, depending on if you were all, you know, what you were doing. I don't know, but I just connected with you, and I connected with everyone who's going to be in this space that we're having here now. And it was just such an immense love and warmth, and you just feel so close. You know, we are so close, closer than ever. You know, it's really, you know, like sitting in the same room. Literally, it's just we are so interwoven now, as more and more are coming into this 0 point energy, you know, and pulling in more and more of that source energy.
Yeah. It's like that voice is becoming a singular voice, you know. You know, we had this kid, well, I say kid, this 27-year-old young man. He was on last Sunday, Joshua Pearson. He's never come out before. He had his wake up at 12 years old, and
okay.
Anyway, we're actually going to have him on again today at 7 Eastern. But anyway, what I noticed is talking to these young people, and he's not the first one, but whenever I talk to the young people and I ask them, you know, what face of the universe is talking to you, they all pretty much say the same thing, that it's not really one in particular. Like Joshua's had conversations with beings from other planetary systems or galaxies or such. But those voices that we've all been familiar with in our own right, for some reason, they seem to be more prevalent in our generation. And there's got to be a reason for that. Maybe we were pulled away further, and maybe we had to be shown by certain, you know, essences that really are part of us. I don't really know. But you're right. The whole thing about, you know, like talking to my sister this morning, you know, there was very much she recognized that it was a very, on a personal level, she was processing and transforming a lot, but she also, this is happening everywhere, man.
Oh,
I mean, so
there has been a lot of that. I mean, I'm just in the bliss mood at the moment, but I mean, there has been some weeks where it has been very heavy. A lot of still that patriarchal energy has come out really really strong, you know. A lot of pointing fingers, you know,
Mhm.
and you know, attacks you've seen all over the place, you know. I
Mhm.
mean, I've just you know, and I mean it's good, it's good, you know, for us to learn how to navigate in that energy, because until we learn that, we will not truly, you know, it's a balance act. And also to be very discerning about, is this really about me? It was like earlier was kind of okay, everything within is without, but I have seen lately, you know, a lot of things where I have just seen, okay, because of this transmutation of this ancient energy, the patriarchal energies, that sometimes the problem is those that haven't done very much work, there are energies at hand that work through people, they are not aware of it.
Oh my
Yeah.
God.
Yeah, so
Oh my God. Yeah.
that means those they may be totally unaware of what's happening. For example, last global activation I had someone come in writing on the Actuarian page that I had some comment that was not very nice, let's just say it like that. And I was kind of, I just took a moment to feel into it, and then I thought, what is this? What is this real? But immediately I could recognize this was not really this person. It was just
Mhm.
like I felt, and there was especially at that time, a lot of these own ancient patriarchal energies that were, you know, it's like whether you call them the archons, whatever you call them, but there are some entities that have really been holding this planet in slavery. Okay, let's just say bluntly, it is like that. Most people, I mean, at least in the spiritual communities, they know it. And so they are losing the grip now. I mean, game's over, right? It is
Yeah.
over.
Yeah.
But it's just like they're still trying, you know, to,
Mhm.
it's like, it's very glitchy, and they try. I see them climb up a wall or something, and they just, you know, they can't get a grip anymore. But
Yeah.
they're desperately trying, and so they use every means, and so they want not so much to maybe, yeah, exactly. They go a lot after those that hold the light to distract them or deviate them from their light
Yeah.
for what they are doing to spread the light. And so with that comment, I saw that, I just thought, I'm not fucking way going into that energy, because it's nothing to do with me. No, I really felt it, and I saw this will I mean, I could respond. I mean, I was not going into any egoic response, but I could also have just written something, you know, okay, I recognize what you say, or this, and I responded in a nice way, but I'm not going into it all together. I'm simply just going to ignore it, because
Yeah.
I'm not going to engage out of choice, because I could see it would, whether I would like it or not, it would still deviate me, and thought, no, I'm such a high frequency now, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah.
And so the thing was, after, I think it was 1 or 2 days, this person, she write on the wall again in officially, and she apologizes for the comment that she made. She said, I'm sorry, I realize I was totally wrong about you. I have misinterpreted things. I don't know what was going on. And it was obviously because there was some, and she even said it, I sensed there was some energies that didn't belong to me, and I was confused and so on. But the thing was, you know, just to be very discerning and not to engage, because, you know, of course we have to always check in and look, okay, is there something in me? But you would feel it if you get triggered, and if you feel the need to you know, to defend yourself or to validate yourself, there is something, okay?
Of course.
But yeah,
Yeah, of
but I
course.
mean, if you feel in, and you just like, it doesn't really do anything to me, but of course you can see this is not really it's not a nourishing energy, it's not empowering, it's low vibrational, yeah. But if it doesn't do anything to you other than, you know, it's just there, you know, and that's the thing,
It's
you know,
distortion.
any distortive energy, it
That's what it
cannot
is.
do anything to
Yeah.
you if you don't engage. That's
Here's
the thing.
here, and you know what? You're right. And I think the thing is that so many people have real. My Kundalini is going off, man.
Mm.
You know, it's going off right now.
Yes. Okay.
I'm glad I'm only being filmed from the waist up. No, but
Okay.
you know, okay, two things I think that are really important that you brought up. One is I've never come out and like try to explain this thing, but I've always watched this thing where when I look at a person, even 8 years ago when I woke up and I started seeing non-physical spirits and having different communions and connections, I could see multiple
Yes.
beings in people.
Mhm. Yes.
Now, let me rephrase that. Now I would say I could see multiple aspects in people, and I could also see what I would call distortion.
Yeah.
Because if you look at the archons, the fourth dimensional part of all that crap, it's all based on distortion. So, one of the things I noticed very recently in an interaction that I had, I was like watching this thing from the outside in, and I'm watching all this stuff go down, and I was actually watching people, and they were not them.
Yeah.
It's not that they were possessed or anything, but like some kind of energy. I think maybe that's what happened. Maybe there was a push by this energy, because I woke up a couple of days ago and I felt it. You know, I felt a little bit. I wasn't aggressive, but I felt like, you know, F this stuff. You know what? I don't want to deal
Yeah.
with this. And I had an encounter where I had a very thorough discussion with somebody, and we always do this, and it's not really antagonistic, but it's like I want to get to the facts. I want to get to. So that's why I do the show. I want to expand. I want to learn something more. I want to close a door or whatever the case is. And I finally come back to this whole simple thing just this morning, and I'm like, there are no absolutes. You know, we don't know nothing. We don't know if the
Mm.
26,000 year cycle story is a program. We don't
Mm.
know anything. But what we do know is I'm here and you're there. And this is
Yeah.
now, right
Yeah.
now. We're living. That's all we
Yes.
know. And to me, people talk about protection. To me, if I'm present with myself and those around me and what I'm doing, there can be no distortion, and they can take a effing hike. You know what I mean? Because they're
Mm.
not, because I'm going to be impenetrable, impervious to them, because I
Yes.
am present in reality and there's no distortion.
Yeah. Yeah. It's because when you are present, the thing is, everything goes wrong when you drop into your mind, because then you get into past and future, you get fragmented. Okay. Your consciousness get fragmented. But when you're really present, you're fully present, you're aligned, you're in your heart space, you're in this moment, you are whole. So whatever energies come in, it's like oil on water, you know. If you just have to be alert and awake and attuned, and then you will sense these distortions of energy. You will sense them for what they are,
Yeah.
But as I said, there are many people that and I have had some, I would say, severe shocks about some people this year. Let's just say it like that.
Yeah.
Which are people that you highly spiritual, but that are not partly maybe aware of, and partly not taking responsibility for really looking at self and seeing that there are thing energies being attached to them that they really need to look at, because
Yeah.
you may be on a very high
Yeah.
level of consciousness, but you can still be distorted. It's nothing to do with the level of consciousness.
That's right. And that's a really good point. And I think it's a really good point to remember. It's a personal trip, but don't take anything personal, number one, because then you engage the distortion. But it's also a very good point as we move out of this teacher student yogi guru thing last year into what's been happening this year, and people becoming self-empowered. I
Yeah.
think the thing to remember is we look at some of these people who have been leaders for us and have been out there, right? And we forget that they're just people too. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And
Yeah.
so, and I've met some in my travels,
Yeah.
and I'm telling you, anyone that's taken in a whole bunch of stuff and that's really putting it out there and really connected, most of their living moments, there's another end of that spectrum, because if you're up there in the ethers all the time, guess what, you know, and say you got 90% up there, guess where you've only put 10%? In the human hybrid divine soul,
Yeah.
which is the living moment, which is here and now. And I don't think we can forget that. And I don't think the universe is going to allow us to forget that, as it keeps as it keeps putting in our face the judgments we make, the projections we have. It's coming faster, but it's like right in our face, you know. It's like blink, 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 blink.
Yeah.
You know, that's not him, it's not her, it's you.
Yes.
Why are they making you uncomfortable? Why are you pissed off? Why are you being an asshole? Why are you being sarcastic? This shit's not going to work anymore, you know.
Yeah,
And
exactly.
it's all pointing back to, you know, be Todd, the divine human being, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So of course, the self examination is something, you know. I mean, you have to monitor your own thoughts. You have to, because there's so much. I mean, you know, it's like millions of impulses, you know. I mean, hello, to really be awake, to really be enlightened and fully conscious. I mean, none of us are that here, you know. Are you conscious about that million impulses that go, you know? Can you monitor all that at the same time, you know? So to really be clear and fully undistorted, I mean, that's really takes something, you know. But you know, it's just important that at least we are you know, devoted and committed to really show and feel, because it's really, I mean, for me it's all about feeling, because it's through the feeling. You cannot deny your feelings. You know, if you get hot ears, you know, or wet hands because somebody triggers you, your mind can say, no, it's their stuff, you know, but your body will tell you, you know, your body will tell you if there's something in you that you need to look at. And so it's these chemicals in the body, you know, your body react through those triggers, and then they're kind of chemicals. Adrenaline is then you know, released, and you know, you can get strong reactions in your body, you know. So it's through this physical experience, you know, that we can really, you know, often see things, you know, through the feelings and through this and we are here in this physical embodiment, you know, to unite it, not to hang around up there, you know. It's, and that's the challenging things, to really being fully, I mean, it's easy to just, you know, hang up, you know, out there, but then you're not grounded. You have to ground it all into this experience here to really, and that's what the ascension is all about, you know, to
exactly.
And to really bring it all down here. And then again, to unite all polarities within. This is
which is it's work, and we've done the work, and we've done a lot of work, and so I think this is why things are accelerating. We did a really interesting show last night with Sandra and Alan. I don't know, Twin Flame Network. I'm sorry, I don't know your last name. I forget. I should know it. But they were talking about couples and the dynamics of it. You know, not the fluffy love and light stuff, but the dynamics of, like, okay, what's it like when you get triggered and all that stuff, which is a great thing, because whether it's a couple in a romantic sense or whether it's a very dear friend, you have that mirror that is like super, like a Paris, you know, it's like a telescope, right? But one of the things that the lady said, Sandra, well, Morgan had said we had gotten this intel at like 3 days ago. We were sleeping at 2:22 in the morning. This giant thunder boom went off, and she heard the gateway is open. The war is over between the sexes. That was one of them. That's the one I was getting at. And the lady last night, she said, and of course, this isn't just for couples. This is energy we're talking about. She said, the game playing won't be allowed anymore. Right? So think about that. You know, we all have these interactions, and we have this thing going in our head, and then we have what we verbalize, and they're not always congruent. In fact, most of the time they're not, because we're coming out of this conditioning, we're aligning and refining ourselves. But that's not going to be allowed. The universal energy is not going to support that anymore, and you're going to get slapped in the face over and over again, which may have repercussions on those around you, and it may not. But the bottom line is, it's not going to stop happening to you until you deal with you, you know. And that's why, you know, in my own right, you know, I've done like, I'm really focused on, like, for instance, one thing over the last few months is not to make sarcastic comments about people. No, because I realize that there's no middle ground.
Yeah.
You're either in or you're out,
Yeah.
you know. And I want to be in.
Yes.
I don't want to be
Yes.
out.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But basically, that war she's speaking about, you know, it's, you know, if you're in a relationship with, it's all about your relationship to yourself. That's what it's all about. You know, your relationship to yourself, to the different aspects of yourself, between your divine feminine, between your divine masculine, between your mind and your heart. You know, it's all about uniting all these polarities, and then finding, you know, the way to, you know, when we come from our heart, when we come from the feeling, you know, then we are really aligned. So that's a way to approach it. But then we need the divine masculine, of course, but to give the steering to the divine feminine, because she has the natural approach. You know, she is naturally more in tune. Not to say that the divine masculine is not in tune, but she had a more direct connection, and then the divine masculine is there to implement all that. It's a wonderful thing, you know.
Yeah.
But there has just been so much through, because all of the wounds on both on the divine masculine and the divine feminine, you know, that there has been this rivalry, you know, you know,
Yeah.
out the two, you know, and that's what's happening in so many relationships, why they break, you know, because it's a fight about rivalry. There's so much jealousy within, not because of, not only because of you know, when you're in a relationship, I mean between the two, you know, that not jealousy about other why he's jealous if she looks at other men, but I mean the jealousy between the two, instead of being supportive to each other. The one feel challenged if the other one has you know, is successful, or you know, if they can see that they advance in consciousness, whatever, then they feel triggered because they feel in lack, you know. So it's a lot about this you know, rivalry between the two of them, you know. That is so destructive, you know.
It's ancestral. This is, and you know what, we just went through something 3 or 4 days ago, and it was like a 24-hour period, 36-hour period. Others were in the field, but when we have a review most every single day, and we talk about what just happened. You know, like, what did we get? And we got on a, it's like when this stuff was going on, I think what happens in our lives, this collective stuff comes up to be transformed.
Yes.
And it shows itself in the individual, you know, or group journey or the couple's journey or whatever. It shows itself on a superficial level in this illusion, basically.
Yeah.
But I really got these last few days when a few things happened, even going back to like 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, when these things were happening, I'm like, oh my God, I'm doing this for the collective. Like in Sedona, I got my balls crushed, man. I was like just out there on the street with the universe, like, what the hell, you know? But I knew it was a collective thing. Todd had to do his thing. So I think if we can remember that, because it's not them, it's not even us, you know. We're you know what I mean? It's like happening. But the big one that happened 3 or 4 days ago, when Morgan and I reviewed, we both came to the conclusion it was resentment. Not resentment, Todd and Morgan, it was resentment of the sexes. And if you think about it, that's a big, big dynamic that's always been there, because she resents because she's been suppressed, and he resents because, you know, whatever. And then I remember a couple of years ago, Morgan getting this intel in, which was he always blamed himself and she always blamed him.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And I don't mean that, and you know what I'm talking about. So I think this is the kind of thing, and again, we're talking about energy, folks. We're talking about energy.
Exactly.
This is the kind of thing that's coming up, which is a good sign, because it's almost like we're getting close to the end here. Like, what else are we going to go for next? But the war is over.
Yes, the war is over. Yeah, and it's up to each one of us to end it. I don't think you can just declare to be over. I mean, it's that there can always be a war going on within someone, but on a collective level, it is, yes. But it's still for everyone, to, do the inner work, you unite all the polarities within, make peace with each fragment, each part of you, to really have a deep look, because there are really things coming up now, and throughout December, it's gonna, you're gonna be amazed what's gonna come up yet still. Yeah. Things, because now we're getting really down to the juicy stuff, down in the deepest subconscious stuff. I see it in the sessions now. It's really getting deep now, and people that have worked on things for years, and also say, really, I've solved this stuff, it's all good, and no, how, yeah, okay, how was your childhood? Oh, I had an okay childhood, it was good, all forgiven. And when in the session, shit happens, things come up which they're not even aware of. It's very, very deep subconscious stuff that is coming up, and a lot about abuses, a lot about, we had this Me Too movement. Now, is it a year ago or is it two? I don't even know. But there's so much. I hardly have a session where there's some abuse coming up. It doesn't matter if man or woman, sexual abuse. Yeah. But it's because it's coming up now, and it's the same with all this pedophile stuff and all this stuff that's going on now that many people don't want to look at. So it's coming up in each one of us, if there's something to look at, and it's all going to be exposed now. Whether we want it or not, and that's the thing. Things, because of this rising in frequency, we cannot close the eyes no longer. It doesn't work. No. It's like this cork from the wine bottle. You can press it down, it will come up, and the more you press it down, the more strong it will come up. So it's really now,
the corkscrew, it'll screw you.
Yes. Screw you.
No.
Yes.
But yeah, and so it makes it kind of challenging, because there's a part of us that's actually, and this is just my opinion, but there's a part of us that's actually entrenched in this illusion, in this game, in this school, in this playground, right? That wants to make things right, that wants to fight for what's right. And for me, I'm like, okay, wait a minute. That's all great, but that's really the same type of energy. It's part of it's playing the game. It's playing with the distortion. So I just try to go back to the simple part.
That's why I don't post anything about this stuff, because I'm just focusing on being in the 0 point. That's right. And I'm helping to rise the vibration, but it's just like, if you see it like this is a big web, like the spider's web, and each thought, each feeling, each action that we do does have an impact on the whole, whether you feel it or not, whether you take responsibility for it or not. So the best we can do, if we want to do something for the planet, is just looking for our own shit, making sure that we are aligned, making sure that we are tuned, that we are present, and that we always seek to be of the highest vibration and being in the 0 point. And that's really what this is all about. If we're all doing that, then we all together, we rise this frequency, and we will go very, very fast, instead of, I have to go and heal that, I have to go and do that for the earth and all this stuff. I don't say it's wrong, but I'm just saying the most important thing, especially right now, it's really that we rise the global frequency, the collective frequency, because then all these things will be exposed, and when things are exposed, that's why I'm saying, what event, the event, it's just, and full disclosure stuff,
Mhm.
it, are you ready to see what comes? Are you ready to look at your own stuff?
That's
Are
it.
you ready to see what's going on? Or are you in a comfortable bubble around things? Or do you really want to see what's going on?
Are
Are
you in
you,
a
are
are
you
you in,
ready to make the changes?
are you in a self-righteous
Yeah.
judgmental bubble?
Yeah, yeah,
See,
exactly.
but see, because the thing that's tricky is, and I still I go to the till every day. I pull up people I don't like. I pull up things I don't like. And until I can be in that 0 point you're talking about, I will continue to do that. This is just my method.
Yeah.
But the tricky thing is if you look at something like that, because everything that's distorted that comes at us is meant to do one thing, and that's create separation. The
Yeah.
minute I look at a victimizer that abuses whoever, a man, woman, child,
Yeah.
and I look at them and I say that's not me, I'm screwed. I'm playing the
Yeah.
game, even if I'm the most righteous, pure,
Yeah.
fluffy, love and light thing there is. So it's kind of a challenge, because it's easy for us to look at people. I think it's easier for us to look at people and say, okay, I see your divine being. We are one, unity consciousness. But it's not as easy to look at things. And by the same token, we can look at people that make us uncomfortable, and we say, okay, what is it about him that
Yeah.
that I need to, and maybe it's not the same thing, but there's something about him, it's either it or the polarity of it that's
Yeah.
making that I'm not aware of, that I need to integrate. But if
Yes.
you look at a situation or an epidemic of like whatever the horrific thing is, and that's something, if it's making me uncomfortable, taking me out of 0 point, what is it in that that's bothering me? What is it in
Yeah.
that now I'm not talking about righteousness, I'm talking about what is it in me spiritually, energetically? Why do I have a charge? How do I negate that charge and neutralize that charge for
Yeah.
something that's so horrific at a human level that it makes no sense,
Yeah.
right? But it's the same thing as a person. If anything that makes you uncomfortable, anyone, there is something there for ourselves. And this isn't rocket science. And I didn't think of
Yeah.
this. A lot
No.
smarter people like you have been talking about this for a long time. I'm just repeating it. You look great, by the way.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
You look fantastic. You're glowing.
Yes, I feel like I'm glowing. Yes.
You're
Thank
settling
you.
in. You've been settling in now for a few months, right? It's been a few months since you've been back there, hasn't it?
Been back.
To Denmark. No?
Been back from where? What do you speak about now?
When I first met you, you were living in another country.
Yes, Germany.
Okay.
Yes. No, I've been in Denmark now for almost 1.5 years now.
God, has it been that long? Have we been
Yes.
working together that long? Oh my God.
Yes. Yes.
That's when I had black hair and and I was about 10 pounds lighter. No, but you look great. So what are you up to? What's going on with your gatherings? I know I just saw one in November, I think.
Yeah.
And do you have anything coming up for December? And how are those things going, and what happens at them?
Yes. I'm just amazed because it's just like keep growing, and the group force field now it's so big. I mean, last time we were, I think, 860. I mean, that's a lot of people.
Holy shiitake mushrooms!
Yeah. And the last time I had, it was about exact this ancient energy of Atlantis and Lemuria that we were healing within ourselves.
Wow.
And I had made a guided meditation for that, and it was listened to over 3,000 times. So it was really, that's just to say there's a lot more people that actually, what should I say? So even if there's 800 people that click on going, there's a lot more people. So it's really a huge group force field that has come to be. And it's all about healing the polarities and also really bringing in that undistorted light, our divine inheritance, and now here at the next one is at the 12/12, It's not about the date, the 12-12. It's about the energy. It's all about frequency. So this is the 333, and it's a very powerful, what should I say, cosmic moment. Yes, and I was guided to by the Acturians to heal this, to really clear, because it's so much about being the 0 point energy now, and also bringing in the source energy. So this one will be much about clearing this old programming of death and decay, about time in general, because I was shown this years ago, and I was told, when you finally transcend the illusion of time, you also transcend the illusion of death, and I was shown also, and I could really see that, why we're getting gray hair, why we started to get the wrinkles and all that. It's all in the mind. It's all in the mind, and it's the linear thinking. We are programmed to go from A to B. So it's like a decay. It's like it's a death sentence that we have put on us,
Yeah.
and we are living that program. Whether you can be as spiritual as you want, we really need to clear those old programmings, because it keeps on in this linearity, and life is not like that. Life is going in spirals. The Mayans had the Mayan calendar and all this, and there are other calendars like the Lemurian calendar, which I don't know much about, which I'm going to I'm getting more involved in that, because but in the end, it's really, no matter which calendar, whatever you follow, it's really about being in 0 point.
Yeah.
That's really about that, and not letting yourself get determined. Really try to pull yourself out every time you feel yourself pulled in that from A to B. Like being in the present, being the past and being in the future. Then you are in that linearity. You are in the duality.
Yeah.
That's that moment, and then you get fragmented, and then you get fragmented. You get you're not aligned anymore. You're not aligned with the. You are in distortion. Let's just say, like, you are in distortion. So so this 12-12, which is coming up, it's really about clearing this old programming, so that we stepping out of the karmic wheel.
Yeah. I like that.
It's the karmic wheel. I will not deny, of course, karma. There is karma in the sense of whatever you do, like we talked about the spider's web, whatever you do, it has a cause and effect. Yes. Yeah. But this thing about that you have to go from A to B, then you die, then you have to be reborn, it's BS. Yes. It's not the truth of matter. It was a programming, an ancient programming of the Piscean age, and we have to step out of that. Otherwise you will not, because it's so strong in your whole rhythm of life. We have to step out of that to really be fully present in 0 point, and then you can stop the decaying and all that. And I'm really also sure about that, why we got out of that before, the wrinkles or the gray hairs and all that. It's because we are so in distortions of energies, and we are so, it's like the friction. We are in friction with the natural flow of life. It's like going upstream, you're supposed to go downstream. And think about this massive amount of energy that we just unconsciously pull up to really be in that discordant energy. And of course, if you use that all energy just for being fun and being creative and all that, you wouldn't age, you wouldn't decay. You would keep up regenerating. You would keep on you would prolong your life.
Agreed. We're in the same place. That's the same place I was this morning. And I said, and I did my normal post for Sology, like, I spent 20-30 minutes doing that. And I thought, I'm gonna write a meme. So I wrote a meme, and it was like, there are no absolutes other than living now.
Yeah.
Everything else is a memory, past, or one we hope for, which is the
Yes.
future.
Yeah.
You know, I mean,
It's just a collection of energies, you know. Then
which is
we
but that's
build
the
up a
linear.
belief. We build up a belief of something,
Yeah.
you know.
But that's the linear. That's the linear that you're talking about, because the
Yeah.
linear. I mean, I think living in the past probably aged us more. Let's speak in the right terms
Yeah.
now. Aged us more than anything else. And
Yes.
then, of course, then pining for the future is, I think, that friction you're talking about, because just the fact that we're attached to it, it runs, the other direction from, let's say,
Yeah.
manifestation.
And because we're fearing it, what you fear, what you fear, you resist, and what you resist persist. You know,
Yeah.
what you resist, you attract it. So you're afraid of getting old. Huh? Who wants to die? No one. Yes.
That's right.
So we are fearing that. We're living in a constant, it's in the back head all the time. You know, I'm going to get old. Every birthday that you celebrate is actually you're getting near to your death. You know what, you know,
I'm
so
not celebrating anything.
no,
Don't
that's
forget
what I
what
mean.
I said
I think
earlier.
it was Prince. I think it was Prince that said, because I saw one interview with Prince at some point, you know, the musician Prince, and then the interviewer said, "Wow, how do you manage to look so young?" And he said, "You don't seem to change." He said, "It's because I don't celebrate my birthdays, you know,
Oh
and
my
I'm keeping
God.
young. Yeah, I'm keeping young."
I'm gonna start that tomorrow.
Yeah.
I like that.
So
I like that old saying though. You just brought up. Somebody said to me, what you resist will persist, and I said, well,
yeah.
what I resist is a bitch.
Yes.
Because what you resist, it just does get bigger and bigger, and I think that's what's happening now at a very micro level. For each one of us, is this whole the game is over. You can't play the game anymore.
Yeah.
And all these things to me are like folding into one. Like
Yes.
what you said earlier, it's gone from, we got all this information to wake us up and tell us who we are, what we're part of. And now it's like almost become like simplified. Doesn't mean it's easy, but simplified.
Yes.
This is a moment by moment conscious effort, a moment by moment conscious integrity, conscious power of love, conscious courage, conscious whatever, but it's
Conscious
a moment by
choices.
moment thing. There's
Yeah.
no, anyone can adopt
Life is
that.
a series of choices. Yeah. Choose love over fear. Choose love over fear. Every time we don't do that, you know, we are giving our power away to fear. When we give our power away to fear, we are we do not live in alignment with truth. I don't say there's an absolute truth. That's whatever that's right for you, but to live in alignment with, when I say truth, I mean at least not the distortions of energies. Then you're living in the pure light. Yeah.
That's right. I think alignment is, I love that word now. I mean, that word to me now has more meaning than it ever has. Somebody said, they had me on a show the other day, they're like, how do you stay in the flow? And I'm like, I'm not in the flow. I'm like, but to me, it's how do you stay in alignment? Because that brings everything else in. It requires everything, I don't know where you're at with this, but I love when you like take us through something. If you want to, if it resonates with you and you want to take us through something, because you are a powerful sister, and or if not, you can just keep talking.
Actually, I thought about today that earlier when I connected, I just felt this love energy, and for me, it's not so much about, and I actually thought about today, I don't even feel like saying something clever or something, but really just connecting together, all of us, just in silence and just being in that, just really magnifying that love between us, just seeing, if every one of us just really magnifies and really rise, really we consciously align with the highest possible light frequency that we can, and then really connect all of us, and really let ourselves be purified and be rejuvenated and nurtured, and to just enjoy this deep connection, and really get us on this Eden frequency, the frequency of just pure bliss. And just being in that silence, where we are just above, whoever are connected here today. I mean, there are many people at the moment that are extremely challenged, physically, emotionally, mentally, and also, not to forget, there are many that are in situations where big changes.
Yeah.
Because with all this enhanced light, there are many that know, I'm going to take some big decisions now that not necessarily are easy.
Yeah.
So, but again, just to remember, in each moment, being in that alignment, it's not for us to fix anything or to figure things out. That's what the divine feminine is about. It's really surrendering and saying, I'm not in control. I can pretend to myself I'm in control, but I'm not in control at all.
Yeah.
There is a higher consciousness, there's a higher energy that is in control, and if we surrender to that and give into that, and just become these conduits, instruments for the divine, where we step aside and we just become aligned and just allow for those energies just to come through us, that's when magic happens.
Right on. Yeah. Right on. I'm up for it.
Yeah.
Take some time and just be silent together.
Yes. So just everyone just come into your heart, come into your feeling your heart, really being present. Not let yourself be distracted, but just come into that cosmic flow, like you might maybe just imagine how the tides come and go, the big ocean of love. And just let yourself be taken into that flow, not try to align. It's more like surrendering, and just surrendering and let it take you, and just come into the stillness. And just let your breath come and go. And when you breathe in, you breathe that highest undistorted light, the love. Just allow it to just permeate your whole being and just sparkle within that light, and just let everything else go. And just let yourself fall into that, like falling into the sea where you just drop into your heart, drop into this sea of love. And just with divine intent, just state that you will now vibrate on the highest possible vibration that your body can hold now, the undistorted, purest light. And just allow it and invite it in. Just be in the stillness. And when you are in that sacred space, then connect with everyone that are present with you now. You can really imagine that we are in this big room together, a big space. Maybe you see faces, maybe not, it doesn't matter, but you can feel all these different energies here, and you can feel the love. So just allow to melt together into one consciousness. And spirals of energy are just coming into this field. And wherever you feel tension or blocks in your body, just let this light flow into that space and just let it dissolve and be raised to a higher frequency. Just let the light do its thing and you just relax and just surrender. And let all be transmuted that is not of this highest light. And in this 0 point energy, everything can just be transformed into the highest light, into the highest bliss, into divine ecstasy. And this high frequency photonic light, it's just rising the frequency in all your cells. This rainbow light, it's just sparkling and glowing in every cell and rising it in frequency and clearing all distortions. And the Arcturians are here and they are just telling you to just embrace your higher galactic aspects, because there are so many here now that are so ready to just merge with you. But understand that this is not neither higher or lower than you are. They are simply in a different form, in a different dimension. So do not see them as different to you, but solely a different expression in a different form. So it's really a matter of stepping out of that fear-based programming of what's different, whether it's a human being that you know, whether it's what some people name as alien life. It's really to understand that it's all from the same energy, it's all coming from the same light, but it's different vibrations, it's different forms, but really transcend that programming of difference of being, because that is what's causing the separation. And it's really important that you integrate everything in you. So whether it's someone that maybe you won't agree with, that you judge, then take that finger away and turn it back onto yourself and say, okay, there's something here that I still need to unite with. To bring it back into alignment, to bring it back into that light, to understand it's only one light. Do not get distracted by the physical form of what looks different or even feels different, because it's all the same light. And when you manage to unite that, when you manage to transcend that mind concept, that notion that it's different, then everything unites into one. And you will clearly feel and know that there is nothing that can ever separate you other than in the mind. Because this is all things that are going on in the mind. And that's why it's so important that you focus all your energy in the 0 point. And the doorway to the 0 point is your heart space. That's where everything is aligned in oneness. And where no distortion can happen as long as you are fully aligned and attuned in this space. So all that brings up this feeling of separation, invite it into your heart. Invite it. Be in acceptance. Though there might be judgment, but understand this is just the mind that cannot comprehend. Because it's too focused on the difference, it's too focused on the physical appearance. And it also gets distracted when it cannot comprehend things. So it's important that you step out of your mind, because you cannot figure things out that can only be felt and experienced. There's no other way to being in this unity with all that is than through feeling. So welcome it all. Say yes. Even those things that may seem very challenging, things that may even seem inhumane, it needs the light. It needs to be brought back into alignment. As long as you push it away, as long as you disalign from it, it will keep pushing forward to be embraced and to be accepted and to come back into alignment within each one of you. And this is what this ascension process is about. Bringing all into oneness, into alignment, all polarities into one. So think about this every time you're challenged by something. Say yes and remind yourself that it only needs the light. All that is less than light is just seeking the light, like the mud that seeks the light. And until you do that, you will still be polarized. And you will still be in duality. So dive deep into this present moment, into each present moment. Anchor in the light with each breath. And consciously rise your frequency with each breath. Like when you breathe, you nurture this light. And you rise in vibration with each breath. It's an ongoing expansion of light and of rising in frequency. And a deeper merging into this timeless sea of love. An eternal love making with the universe, with the light, and with all shades of light. And this bliss and this love is who you are, who you have always been. Something that can never be lost. You may disalign, but it's always there, always present for you to align with, to nurture you, to elevate you, to rejuvenate you. An ongoing dance of love and expansion. And it's an ongoing choice to say yes to that light, to choose love as your reality. How are you feeling, brother?
Well, all I can say is you need to go back and watch the show.
Okay.
There was some stuff going on over your left shoulder the whole time, and then later on over your right, well, both. And people were seeing it too.
Yeah, okay.
So
something was
it
going on.
fits. It fits the dragon energy. It fits
Yeah.
Arcturian dragon energy.
Yeah.
It fits a lot. And I was getting like a lot of tones too. So this explains why my Kundalini was going crazy.
Yeah, there was a lot of Kundalini energy. I could feel it very, very strong. Yeah, and that's a thing. When you get in that field, you're on the cusp all the time. You know, it's really like that. It's really
That's
like
powerful,
that.
man.
You're on the cusp of it. And I mean, we all know what they knew it. All the old ancient yogis. Why did they practice the tantric energy, which is using the Kundalini energy that you can prolong life. You an ongoing lovemaking, ongoing restoration and rejuvenation, and it's just being aligned with the cosmic flow, being in the cosmic womb
Powerful.
of creation, and this is just a vibration that we can simply tap into each present moment. You can't lose it.
Man.
So that's really stepping out of the 0 point, stepping out of that linear from A to B, which will keep you in this decay, aging. Then come all the ailments, the illnesses, and the gray hairs start coming, the wrinkles, and all sorts of stuff. I still need the glasses, but I'm gonna get rid of this stuff.
Me too. I'm getting rid of them.
Yeah, I'm gonna get rid. Because
No, I'm
we
serious.
know there's a higher truth, and I just know, when you are in this 0 point ecstatic bliss, it's as I say, it's like being on the cusp of an orgasm all the time. That's what it really is, and that is our natural state of being. I think they're even saying that about the dolphins, that they have this ongoing lovemaking also. They are really on that frequency. And they are also because they are much higher frequency, they are 5-dimensional beings living in this physical world. They are just showing us what we are getting at, being this constant joy and ecstasy. They're just having fun and having a good time, all the time.
Well, it's time to join the party.
Absolutely.
It's powerful.
That's
powerful, man. You got to go back and watch that.
Okay.
That was Grace. You're I know, man. I feel like but it's been building up like the last 2-3 days. I don't know, man. I don't know what the hell's going on, but it feels good. That was good. That was very, very good. That was like I don't know. I can't put it to words yet, but it fits. It fits going into this 12-12. So you got something coming up.
It was really opening up this energy towards the 12-12, and that was what I was guided to as I connected an hour before we started.
That sounds about right. So you got something on 12-12. How do people find it?
Yes, absolutely. There are already over 500. I think 560 people already signed up, and we still got 4 or 5 days, right? And it's really about what I was talking about, stepping out of the hologram. It's nothing more than a hologram of that ancient manipulation programming, of this mind slavery program of time, of linear time. And, these entities, at the time, even before, it was back to Lemurian Atlantis. Some say even before, there were already programmings made of this duality, but also, of this, the latest, from the time of Atlantis and Lemuria, where we really dropped in consciousness, where we fell into amnesia. We had totally forgot. Actually, we were angels, and we forgot. And then we came into this sleep state, and we were just prone to this linear thinking, the linear time. And then we got basically caught up in this karmic wheel, the wheel of karma, and we have been caught in that for thousands and thousands of years. For the last 30,000 years, this last epoch, and so the Acturians are supporting us. I don't say you have to do the activation, because everyone has their team. You can, it's not that you have to do this. I mean, everyone can do it on their own. They can step up, but when you unite in a group, and exactly through, the group force field has been growing so much the last 2 years, because people, they saying they can't wait until the next global group activation come, because every time you are just taking to the next higher level, you are becoming more aligned, you're becoming more fine-tuned, you're becoming more conscious, you know, and you are getting more and more aligned. That's really what about. So you can bringing more and more that source energy. So this 12-12-12 portal, they are supporting us in clearing these old distortions in our DNA, so that we can really step out of that linear time programming and this aging death programming, so we can really connect with that undistorted source energy, you know, the first light of Lemuria. I know you had this Huna Mauta, he came and spoke about that light, and it's really amazing. I will also say that I did have a session which really was amazing also.
With Huna?
So if you're aligned, if you're aligned with that, with what he shares, it's really powerful. But this is the light, which is the pure undistorted light that we can all align with, you know, and then you just get, you know, we become these enlightened, ecstatic beings, you know, like the dolphins, where we're just, you know, having fun, you know, the ecstatic joy, just becoming an emanation of that, being in that light, and all this creative energy, you know. That's this, you know, we are here to have fun, you know, we are not here to be mind slaves, and, you know, and to go to work from 8 to 4, you know, and then finally we die, you know. This, you know, we are here to transcend all that, and we can do it. And it's really with a conscious decision that we want to step out of that. So you are invited, every one of you, to join us in this massive growth force field that as I said, already 560 people. I don't know, maybe it's even around 600 now. I haven't checked it. So we will align on the 12-12-12. Sorry, the 12-12. So it's the free on the portal, and it will be 8 p.m. in Central European time. That's GMT 7 p.m.
Yeah. It's 2 p.m. That'd be 2 p.m. New York City. 2 p.m. New York City, and 11 a.m. Pacific, 8 a.m. Hawaii, and early in the morning down under.
Early in the morning. But also have to say that you can also tune in these activation, and I have talked to people, you know, sometimes that they can't, you know, tune in at the synchronous time. You can just tune into 0 point, and with your divine intent, you can connect with the group force field. You can tune into the occurrence, and you just state your intent. You align yourself and ask to receive the activation, so you can do that even afterwards, you know, because nothing can disappear in 0 point. It's the morphogenetical field, so everyone, so you can't miss anything. And it just, every time somebody said, I missed it. No, you didn't miss it. You can't miss anything. There's nothing to miss.
It's a morphic orgasmic field.
Yes, exactly.
When are you coming to the US? Are you coming to the US anytime?
Oh gosh, I'm so called next year. I mean, many years back, when you go back to around 10, 11, especially that time, 12 also, I was very pushed to go, or pulled to go to Mount Shasta. At that point, and I really felt the mountain, you know, the mountain calling me, almost dragging me there, you know. And I hadn't been able to go there, you know, because I've had small children at that point. But now things are changing, you know. So I'm starting to get to being able to travel more. And I'm really drawn to go to Mount Shasta in 2020.
We're going to see you there. We're going to see you there.
Yes.
We'll pick you up at the airport.
Yes. Let's do that.
This was great. This is perfect.
Yes.
This is perfect.
You know, And everything is gonna align if we are just attuned and we just surrender it all to the universe and just say, I'm going. You know, I always say that to my God, I'm going. You know, I pack my stuff, you know, so I'm ready, you know, so just make sure that everything is catered for so that I can go there. You know, the universe works for you, works for me. You know, there's nothing going against us. So we just have to say, surrender and say yes. That's what this life is about. Say yes.
Right on. And thank you, Sybil Shana Lerman. She put up the event. Thank you, Susan, for asking.
So you can find it also on the Grace Solaris Actuarian High Council page. Okay. Grace Solaris Actuarian High Council. And then it says upcoming event, but I mean, I will be posting it anyway. But thank you so much for the ones that posted it here. And let's rock the tectonic plates. Let's really get this stuff. You know, we really need to get this thing going because game's over. You know.
That's right.
Yes.
That's right.
So it's time to empower ourselves and to become the sovereign beings that we are. Yeah. And to reclaim our sovereignty and the divine light that we are. That's
right. Thank you, Grace.
Thank you so much, Todd.
It's always good. I didn't know it'd been a year and a half already, but it's always good bitten with this. Was perfect. I gotta start moving, man, or I'm gonna kundalini in my pants.
Yeah, go find Morgan, and then you're gonna lift the roof. Yes.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
Okay.
I gotta go. Love you.
My love to all of you. Thank you so much to everyone who listened and brought in the love. Thank you so much. Bye for now.